Went back a week later. I told President Millosheviçi he needed to withdraw the forces. I said, if you don't, NATO's going to tell me to execute this plan and execute bombing. He said, well, NATO must do what it must do. I said, well, now you don't want that, Mr. President. He said, no, you're right. He said, talk to the generals. So I went in and talked to the generals. They laid out the map. They said, oh, these are terrorists here and here. And they were pointing at various areas of Kosovo. I said, these are terrorists. Well, I said, look, you're not going to defeat people who are fighting for their families by calling them terrorists and punishing the whole population. You can't do it. You won't succeed. All you'll do is make more and more enemies. You got to change your tactic. So we had a big argument. That didn't accomplish anything. But I went back and told Milosevic. He said he would do what he could. Nothing changed.
Thank you,
I
General.
made a third trip with General Klaus Naumann. And at that point, we sat down and told President Milosevic what we wanted. He said, oh, you're going to have to talk to Mr. Shinovich. He's in charge. So we spent all night working up an agreement. The next morning, it was a Sunday morning, it was time to sign the agreement. President Milosevic showed up about 10 in the morning, and he acted like the agreement wasn't very important. He said, we know how to handle these Albanians, these murderers, they're these killers of their own kind. I said, well, he said, we've done it before. I said, well, Mr. President, how did you handle it? What did you do? He said, we kill them all. And then he presents the agreement that's been typed up by his people, where it's an agreement to follow through on what the United Nations got him to agree to and pull back forces and do negotiations. And I said, well, Mr. President, I don't see your signature on this agreement. He said it's not necessary. So, oh, yes, it's necessary. So he signed it.